It takes courage to let things go. We as humans, we are wired for consistency. We are wired to keep things the same because this has created stability for us in the past. Keeping things the same has helped us survive. And now this is harming us because if you can't detach, if you need to hold on to every single person, to every single thing, even if it's not serving you, you are trapped and you're giving your energy away for nothing. And this is what you have to realize. We are not taught when we grow up that there's something to lose. We usually are brought up with the thought that there's something to gain. So you can gain something from going into a relationship. You can gain something from starting a job. But the fact that there's also something to lose, which is your peace of mind and your energy, people don't tell you that and people don't think about that. And so a lot of the times you end up in a situation where you feel drained and empty and exhausted, although you objectively have everything you want. Okay, so let's say you're in a relationship and that person is just feeding off of you. And this happens a lot of the times. There are so many people out there who are literal vampires, okay? Olivia Rodrigo was right when she wrote that song. They're people who drain life out of you. And the problem is that we tell ourselves, even if we're in such a situation, if we literally have a vampire on our side, we still think that we're better off with the vampire than alone. And this is the problem. We forget that there's a baseline worth to us, that we don't just exist in connection to other people, in relation to other people, but we're also an individual. We're also a person of our own. This is what we don't realize. We don't have enough trust in ourselves that we could go out into the world and find a different person, that we could go out into the world and find a different job, that we could go out into the world all by ourselves and somehow find happiness and peace in certain things. Rather than attributing that to ourselves, attributing our happiness to ourselves, we attribute that to the circumstances we're in. And this is why we're so scared of losing things. And this could literally be anything. It doesn't have to be a relationship, it doesn't have to be a job. It could be anything. You attribute your own well-being to those things when that is not the case. You create life. Life comes from you, not at you. And if you are in a situation and you're unhappy, you need to let go of it. And you need to work against this part in your brain that says, no, I need to hold on to everything. I need to desperately hold on to things because stability is much more important than happiness. You have to do a sort of standard reset, okay? So you have to stop chasing people to prove your worth. Because this is what we do a lot of the times. We like people who are unavailable. We like people who give us intermittent reinforcement, who sometimes are nice to us, sometimes are incredibly toxic, who sometimes write back, who sometimes don't write us back. Stop trying to chase those people. The second you let go of needing their attention and approval, you start to become self-sufficient. And this is what will make you magnetic. Detachment is not cold, okay? Realizing your worth apart from other people is not cold. It's not narcissistic, because this is what a lot of times we tell ourselves, especially for really empathetic and people pleasers. We tell ourselves, oh, but if I acknowledge the fact that I'm an individual apart from this relationship and that I can be happy without this person, then I'm a narcissist, right? No, you're not. This is powerful and it's true. There's a thing called the scosity principle, and it basically says that people value what isn't begging for validation. So if you start to make this mindset shift, you don't even have to do everything. You don't even have to do anything in the first place. Just make that mindset shift. Just say to yourself, okay, I don't need this person to survive. I don't need these friendships. I don't need the approval of this person or of that person. I am enough for myself. The minute you start to believe that, your energy will change and people will realize. In a paradox way, these people will start to like you and look for you more than they did before. So see what you're doing here. You're trying everything to get their approval. You're trying everything to be liked. And the second that you detach from that desire, this is what will actually happen. but you have to detach from the desire first. Second of all, you have to set boundaries. This is so simple, but we forget it a lot of the times. Someone's bad day is not your emergency. It's not your responsibility. What I used to do in the past is when somebody would feel bad, I would immediately feel the same way. But you don't need to do that in order to offer them empathy. You don't need to get dragged down by people. Because this is exactly what these energy vampires, narcissistic people, they want you to do. They want you to, be completely governed by their moods and by their actions. But you can still be empathetic and say, I'm sorry you had that bad day. I'm sorry you had that conversation at work, but I had a good day and I'm not going to let you ruin it. This is emotional boundary setting. You don't have to be ignorant and disrespectful. No, you just have to say to yourself, okay, no, this was my day. This was their day. It doesn't influence each other. Okay. You can still be empathetic without letting yourself be dragged down by the other person. You're not a reflection of this other person. You're a person of your own. That's how you keep relationships from draining you dry. You might, a lot of the times, especially for girls, I think their vision is that they're just completely focused on their partner. They feel everything that he feels or she feels, and they give everything. But this is not a healthy relationship, and it's not sustainable. And it will also lead to the person respecting you less. This is what I talked about, the scarcity principle. People notice when you literally would do anything for them and throw all your own values overboard just to fit into that person's life. You need to have values of your own. You need to know who you are in your own before you can be in a relationship. Once you have established that, once you know what you're about and what you want, once you have figured that out, people around you can't change you as much. It's almost like, you're clenching your hands around a water cup and it bursts. This is what happens when you can't detach. You try to control things so much that they start controlling you. And this is what you need to learn. We can't control anything. Even if you're in a healthy relationship, it could be that the person breaks up with you tomorrow. Your job could end tomorrow. You can't control that. But what you can control is yourself, your values, your boundaries. This is your base. You need to establish that in order to sail safely through life. So detachment is not being cold. It will literally set you free and make you more magnetic. I hope you guys could take something from this video, and I see you guys in the next video. Bye.